Hello. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday and welcome. How is your Sunday going? What are you doing? Where are you calling in from? If you can see me and if you can hear me, will you just write, "I can see you," in the chat? Hello from Pakistan. Awesome. Can everybody see and hear me? Wonderful. Hello from Bangladesh. Hello, India. Hello, Vietnam. Hi, Kenya. Hi, Sri Lanka. Hi, Turkey, Pakistan, Vietnam. Wow, we have people calling from all over today. This is amazing. Thank you guys for joining me. Hi, Brazil. Hi, UK. Hello, Bangladesh. Hello, Malaysia. Hi, Brazil, Denmark, India. Wow. Hello, Hungary, Somalia, India, Serbia, Somalia. Well, I'm going to give you a short introduction. So my name is Teacher Nicole or Tutor Nicole, and I'm a tutor on Cambly. I am from the United States, and I can let you guys take a guess as to which state I am from. And at the end, I will reveal the answer. I will tell you where I'm from. So I'm from the United States, and I'm Teacher Nicole. Nice to meet everybody. All right, I'm going to give us a few more minutes to log into the live stream and get ready for our class today. Just about 30 more seconds, okay? Hi, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. Hi, North Dakota. Wow. Nepal, New York. Very cool. It's so nice to have everybody here today. We're going to get started in just a minute. Someone said Pennsylvania. That's close. Hi from Turkey, London. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Today, we are going to be learning about gerunds versus infinitives. What is a gerund? What is an infinitive? And when do we use them, or how do we use them? Okay, so to start, I wanted to see how much we already know. So I have a little pre-quiz. I would like us, for when we're joining, to write in the chat the answers that go along with my lesson, okay? So today, I want you to guess whether it would be a gerund or infinitive. I'm going to show you a few words, and I want you to write in the chat which one you think it is, okay? Wonderful. So here we have words like talking, walking, thinking, falling, seeing. Is this a gerund or an infinitive? And I also want you to tell me, what is a pattern that you notice? What do you notice on these words? What do they all have in common? I see a lot of people are saying gerund. Very good. Yes, it is a gerund. And the pattern, exactly, you see it behind me. It is the verb plus ing. So if the verb is talk, we would do talk plus ing, and that would make talking, okay? Very good. Next question. I have a few words, and I want you to guess if it's infinitive or gerund. All right, so we have things like to talk, to play, to dream, to eat. What do you guys think this is? All right, I'm getting a lot of answers saying infinitive. And you guys are right, it is infinitive. Can you tell me, what is the pattern here? What do all of these have that show it's an infinitive? Very good. Yes, it is to plus the verb. So if the verb is talk, you would do to plus talk, and it would be to talk. Amazing. High five, guys. Okay, so now that we know what a gerund and infinitive is and how to form them, I would like you to give me an example of a gerund. Okay, so just write in the chat. I want you to write in the chat what an example of an infinitive would be. Of a gerund, what would an example be? My example would be playing. What's your example? Okay, I like this one. Speaking English is useful. I am singing. Okay. Talking, I like playing cricket. Playing is the gerund. Very good. I like writing, or I like eating. Amazing job, you guys. Now, can you give me an example sentence of the infinitive? Let's see what examples we have for the infinitive. I am watching. Okay. Okay, so remember the infinitive is to plus the verb. So Martin says, I want to learn, to read, to meet. Okay, I go to work every day. I like to be called Yassine. Very good. I like to dance. I love to speak English to become fluent. I want to see you again. See, these are all really great examples of the infinitive. Thank you. Now, so we just learned an infinitive is the to form of the verb. Okay, so if your verb is learn, the infinitive would be to learn. Okay, to learn is important. Okay. The infinitive form is also used as the subject, the complement, or the object of a sentence. Here are some more examples of verbs becoming infinitives. Okay, so learn becomes to learn. Run becomes to run. See becomes to see. Can someone make a sentence out of the examples that I have here? Let's try to sleep. To sleep. How could we make a sentence from to sleep? Let's see. Here we have verbs followed by the infinitive. You could use one of these verbs and afterwards you use to sleep. So for example, I see someone says, I love to sleep. I have to sleep. Okay, I'm going to sleep. So here we have, you could say, come to sleep. Would you like to sleep? Okay, so these are all really great examples to use the infinitive. Here is the infinitives used in a subject, complement, or object. Here it says to learn is important. To learn here is the subject. Next, we have the most important thing is to learn. To learn, the infinitive here is the complement. And down below it says he wants to learn. Here, to learn is the object. Does anyone know how to make a sentence using the infinitive negative? How do we make it negative? Would we add no, not, no way? Yes, very good, Fatima. It would be not. So infinitives can be made negative by adding not. So here are some examples that I have. I decided not to go. The most important thing is not giving up. So this is a way that we can make sentences with the infinitive negative using not. So not can also be interchangeable. So you could say, I decided to not go, or you could say, I decided not to go. Very good. Next, we're going to learn about gerunds. So a gerund is actually a noun made from a verb by adding ing to the ending. The gerund form of read would be reading. And you can use a gerund as the subject, complement, or the object of a sentence, just like you can an infinitive. So here are some examples of some gerunds. Here we have look. Look becomes looking. Next we have drawl. Drawl becomes drawing. We have laugh. Laugh becomes laughing. Okay, so all we do is we take the verb and add an ing. Well, for example, up here I have liking. Well, doesn't the verb like end in an E? Where did the E go? So if it's like, and like ends in an E, you take the E off of the ending and add ing. Okay? Very good. Here is some examples of how to use the gerund as different subjects, complements, or objects. So this is the same gerund, but it's used in different ways. So the first one says, reading helps you learn. The gerund here is the subject. The next example says, her favorite hobby is reading. Reading here is the complement. The last one says, I enjoy reading. Reading here is used as the object. Okay, so remember that it kind of becomes a noun instead of a verb. Very good. Now, next it says gerunds can be made negative by also adding not. I have a few examples for us here today. This one says he enjoys not working. Again, the same as the infinitive. To make something negative, all we do is add not. While I read these examples, can anyone give me an example of a gerund used negatively? Muy bien. Very good, Jacobo. He says, I am not watching TV. Very good. So my example says, he enjoys not working. And the best thing for your health is not smoking. So here we have working and smoking as the gerund, and not makes it negative. You guys are all putting in some great examples. Thank you. I am not running. I am not eating meat. Wonderful job, you guys. So both infinitives and gerunds can be used as the subject, complement of a sentence. However, gerunds sound like normal spoken English, and infinitives emphasize the possibility or potential for something to sound more philosophical. So my favorite example of this is a famous quote, and it's to be or not to be. That's the infinitive, is to be, and that sounds a lot more philosophical than it would a gerund. So that's kind of how you can determine whether or not the gerund or infinitive sounds like it should be in the sentence. 90% of the time, you will use the gerund as the subject or complement of a sentence. So here I have some examples of using the different forms and which one sounds right and which one sounds wrong, okay? So here we have the gerund, and it says learning is important. Here's the subject. Learning is important. But if we use the infinitive form and we say to learn is important, it's not wrong. It just sounds more philosophical. To learn is important. But here it just sounds more natural to say learning is important. The next example. The most important thing is learning. Here, this is the complement of the sentence. Learning is the complement. And it sounds Less philosophical than the most important thing is to learn. This sounds like a really big statement. 90% of the time you will use the gerund as the subject or complement of the sentence, okay? Yes, so these are just some examples for you guys. Again, if we're using the subject or the complement, about 90% of the time it will be used as the gerund. You will use the gerund if it is the subject or the complement. Okay? Again, if you guys are joining in late, don't worry. You can watch this video again after I'm done. But right now we're learning the gerunds versus the infinitives. Okay? So next, I want to talk about when we should use gerunds and when we should use infinitives. So usually it's the main verb in the sentence that determines whether to use the gerund or the infinitive. Okay? So here it says, he enjoys swimming. Enjoy requires a gerund. Okay, so we have enjoy up here. Almost all of the time, enjoy will be followed by a gerund. So, can anyone give me an example of enjoy and a gerund? My example is he enjoys swimming. He enjoys swimming. What is your example using enjoy? He enjoys swimming. Maybe I enjoy going to the supermarket. I enjoy listening to the music. Good. I enjoy reading. I enjoy hiking. Very good. I love to get to know what some of your hobbies are. So if you want to write what you enjoy, you are simply just practicing using the gerund. So keep up the great work, you guys. This is awesome. Next, this is an example of when we would almost always use the infinitive form, a verb followed by once. So for example, he wants to swim. Want or would like is almost always followed by the infinitive. Can you give me an example using the infinitive form of want or would like? Mine is, he wants to swim. She wants to become famous. Good. She wants to read. I want to go outside. You could also say, I would like to go outside. See how simple it is to form the infinitive? Good. I would like to go to the movies. I want to be a singer, or I want to become a singer. These are all great examples, you guys. Now, some verbs are followed by gerunds as objects. Okay, so we already went over the two forms that it could be, and now it could also be an object. So here we have a gerund used as an object. She suggested going to a movie. Another example, Mary keeps talking about her problems. Okay, so these are examples where the gerund becomes an object, going and talking about her problems. Okay, now some verbs are also followed by infinitives. So here we already talked about would like or want. Another example is needs. So here we have, she wants to go to a movie. You could also say she would like to go to a movie. I would like you to practice with want and need using the infinitive. So my example is Mary needs to talk to someone and she wants to go to a movie. Can you practice using want and need plus the infinitive of the verb. I want to eat meat. She wants to speak in English. I want you to be my teacher. Thank you. I need to have a rest. Okay. I need to relax. You guys are really great and creative with all of these examples, so thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I love this one. Nicole wants us to practice English. That's great. Thank you, Martin. Very good. Okay, now you guys, it is quiz time. So get ready. I would like you to write the answers as we go along through quiz time. Okay, so Dan enjoys blank science fiction. The verb here is read. He enjoys blank science fiction. Would this be the infinitive or the gerund? I see a lot of people that say reading. Very good. So yes, that would be the gerund because enjoy is almost always used by the gerund, okay? So that would be Dan enjoys reading science fiction. Excellent job, you guys. Very good. Next, the verb here is play. Would you like to, whoopsies, would you like blank a game? Remember, would like, we would use the infinitive. So what would it be? Would you like blank a game? Very good. Yes, this one would be to play. Would you like to play a game? Very good, you guys. The next question. I miss blank in the travel industry. The verb here is work. I miss blank in the travel industry. If the verb is work, would it be working or to work? Very good. Remember, here are some very common verbs that are almost always followed by the gerund. And these verbs are almost always followed by the infinitive. Does anyone see the word miss anywhere? Yes. Okay, so that would be miss, working. I miss working in the travel industry. That is the gerund. Good job, you guys. Okay, this one. The question, where did you learn blank Spanish? The verb here is speak. Where did you learn blank Spanish? Is this the gerund or the infinitive? Very good. I see a lot of people saying to speak, and you are correct. Where did you learn to speak in Spanish? Okay, here we would use the infinitive. Very good. Next, we have I started blank to the mall. The verb here is walk. Would it be the gerund or infinitive? I started blank to the mall. Okay, I see a lot of people said walking. They said the gerund, and you are correct. I started walking to the mall. Excellent job, you guys. All right, next and last one. He asked blank to the store manager. The verb here is talk. So would it be he asked to talk to the store manager, or he asked talking to the store manager? Which would it be? Which would it be? Remember, ask is almost always followed by the infinitive, and I see something like he asked. So would that be the gerund or the infinitive? Yes, very good, everyone. He asked to talk to the store manager. That would be the infinitive. Awesome job, you guys. So we're going to move on to the final part of this lesson. And I would like you to tell me, what is the gerund of run? Without looking behind me, what is the gerund for run? Very good. Yes, that is running. Running. We add two N's there. Running. Awesome. Running. Now, what is the infinitive of sleep? The infinitive of sleep. Does anybody know? Very good. Remember, we do to plus the verb. So that would be to sleep. Awesome job, you guys. Next one. What is the gerund of bake? So remember, bake ends in an E. If it ends in an E, what would it be? The gerund of bake. Awesome. I see that nobody put the E in baking, which is really good. So yes, we get rid of the E and we add ing. Get rid of the E, add ing. Awesome. So that would be baking. Okay, last one, you guys. What is the infinitive of grow? What's the infinitive of grow? Very good. Yes, it is to grow. Can anyone use to grow in a sentence? Let's see, can we use to grow in a sentence? Remember, we can use some of the common verbs. I would like my plant to grow. I want the grass to grow. He needs to grow with good manners. I love that. He needs to grow. Very good. I love the examples that you guys have for me today. You guys did wonderful. Thank you so much for all of your comments and answers during the live stream. I really had a great time with you guys today. Thank you for watching my lesson on gerunds versus infinitives. If you did not get to watch the entire lesson, or if you came late, don't worry, because this lesson will be posted to the Cambly YouTube channel after I am finished. So you can rewatch all the way from the beginning, okay? So I have something special for you guys today. It is a code for you guys to get 36% off of yearly subscriptions. So if you would like to join Cambly, or if you would like to add more hours to your Cambly account, you would use the promo code Infinitive in all capital letters, Infinitive. You may also click the link below to get 36% off. And since today happens to be Black Friday or Cyber Monday, we still have the Black Friday discount code, which would get you 40% off as well. And that is on the Cambly website page, okay? So again, I am a tutor here on Cambly, and I would love to teach a lesson with you guys and have a conversation. So if you would like to book a class with me, just click a link below. You will find my page. Oh, it is 45% off for Black Friday and 36% off using this code, okay? Again, thank you guys so much. You can rewatch this lesson later by coming back to the YouTube channel. I had so much fun learning about gerunds and infinitives with you guys today. And it was so nice to meet all of you. All right, yes, just click on the home button to use the code for Black Friday or the code for infinitive to get 36 or 45% off of your yearly subscription. All right, thank you guys all so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.